Most of the endings. But don't, hopefully you don't get bored of it quickly.
No, I'm not gonna get bored of it.
It is, like, again, like a multiple choice game, so
Oh, I know how it works. Just don't, like, spoil anything, though.
I won't.
Have you played the Stanley Parable before? No. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Please enter the current time. It is currently...
It is 10:02.
Fuck you, it changed the minute as soon as I entered that in.
Begin the game.
Settings. Crank that up.
Oh god.
What do you mean, oh god? Field of view is 90.
Oh, fair.
Like,
Fair. I thought you were doing with the subtitle size, subtitle background occupancy. I would say medium.
I'll do large.
Show ridicule. You're gonna want that. Dot.
Yeah. And then auto walk?
Toggle auto walk. Nah.
That's weird. Audio.
Or you can also turn off the head bob too if you wanna. There's head
Oh,
bob
put the
when you walk.
glasses on. Wait, there's a head bob?
Yeah.
Low dexterity mode.
Alright, now I can focus. Now I can hear. Sorry, Zap.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never...
This is the
Thanks for
story
popping
of
by
a
at
man
Testicles.
named Stanley.
Stanley
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them,
Hopefully it's not a
and
drinking game. Maybe.
this is what employee 427 did every day, every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley
You're gonna love
relished
this.
every
Watch.
moment that the orders
Watch the
came
camera
in.
as it zooms out.
Though he had been made exactly
Empty
for this
space.
job, and Stanley was happy.
Stanley was happy with pushing the
And then
button.
one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alrighty. You can look
Oh, I can
around, move. Yes, look around.
I don't like that. Here.
Yeah, I usually put it at like 7 or 8. That's just me.
Okay, maybe I do want a reticle.
Show reticle. Back up. Show reticle dot. You can choose what reticle size.
There we go.
Sure, you want it bigger.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Can I pick stuff
Yeah,
up?
you can crouch too by hitting. Yeah.
L2?
L2.
Dude,
Yeah,
this is
look
weird.
at-
Why is it L2?
You can change it if you want. I think.
Nah.
Read the mug. Read the mug. The coffee
Sorry,
mug.
sorry. I hate Mondays. Okay, Garfield.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I'll be
Perhaps
back
he had
in.
simply
Door,
missed a memo.
door's locked behind you. You could have just actually closed the door if you had just stayed in there. but that's up to
Dude,
you.
there's gonna be all sorts of Easter
Stanley
eggs
went
in there.
around touching
Yeah,
every
there
little.
are
No matter
plenty of
how hard
endings and
Stanley
plenty of
looked,
little
he
Easter
couldn't
eggs.
find a trace of his co-workers.
Rotary phone. Oh yeah, actually there is an
Oh.
ending where you
Oh.
go through the window, crouch. There you go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration
You're
and
gonna love it.
realized
You're
it
gonna
was
love
part
this.
of the game's design all along. He
Also,
then
when you
praised the
get the
game for its
bucket,
insightful and
you can
witty
get a bucket,
commentary
too.
into the nature of video game
Hey,
structure
okay,
and
okay.
its examination of structural
all I'm
narrative
gonna say.
tropes. So,
I was
now
gonna
that you're
say,
here,
don't
what do
be
you
spoiling
think?
shit.
Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you
Yes,
think? Are
Homer.
you sick of this gag yet?
A little bit. What?
You hit it.
No, actually, nah.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different?
Maybe.
Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place.
Oh my God, he's right.
Now, think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option?
That's pretty
Clearly,
tempting.
this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one?
Stop trying to
Imagine
mindfuck
if you
me.
had selected continue on your
Oh, this
first
game is a
playthrough, how
mindfuck.
tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever.
Forever
And ever.
and ever.
Cheers.
No, it's either you can sit there, stand there, or you can restart the game.
Well, how long would I
cannot
have to
move.
stand here?
Forever. For as long as you stand in that area. The only way you can leave is if you restart the game.
Yeah, let me just restart real quick.
All of his co-workers were
You gonna
gone.
do the other
Yeah, I'm immediately
Stanley
going for
decided
it.
to go to the meeting room.
I gotta
Perhaps
find
he'd
out.
simply missed a
I gotta
memo.
find out.
No matter
Get
how
up on the
hard
thing.
Stanley
There you
looked,
go.
he couldn't find a trace of
I'm
his
free.
co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's
Fucking
design
white
all along.
blinding void.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Okay, I figured
So,
out how to make it
now
as a
that you're
drinking
here,
game.
what do you
Every
think?
time you push a
Isn't
button, I
this
drink.
a fun and unique place to
Ooh.
be? Why don't we take a minute just
Every
to
time you
drink
hear
it
the
all in?
click of a button. Every time
Okay,
you
I'm
activate
over it
something.
now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally
All
just
right.
restart the game any
All
other
right,
time.
you want to get all offensive, huh?
Right now. You could have done it just then. Now would
Well, maybe
also
I
be
don't
an
want to.
appropriate time to quit.
I don't
Any
think
of
it
these
is.
points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate.
Not yet. It's
I'm
not
enjoying
appropriate
what
yet.
seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
I can
So,
restart if I
just
want.
to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Uh-huh.
There once was a man named Stanley.
He's singing!
Who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What
What?
Stanley liked most was buttons.
It's
He
true, I do
pushed
like
them
buttons.
like some kind of glutton.
I really do like
Did
buttons.
it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
It's true.
Which is why he's
Smooth.
in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable.
Yeah, sing it,
You
narrator.
too will become quite unbearable.
That's beautiful.
Well, the funny thing is that it's probably just a little like,
On loop.
oh,
It's probably on loop now.
maybe. Probably, yeah. It is. Kinda.
Yeah, I think that's it.
No, you can also just close yourself in your office too.